Hey, what's up YouTube? Green Wolf here, and welcome back to the edge of the grid with another knife review. And today I made a list. All my future knife reviews are going to work off of this list. We started with the price. Let's be honest, it doesn't matter what the knife is. If the price isn't right, you aren't going to buy it. Dimensions. Obvious second. If you're going to carry the knife, you need to know how big it is. Category. Like, what type of knife is it? Carry method. How do you carry it? Clip. On the belt. How do you carry it? Blade. And a couple other things like lockup, frame, grip, opening, jimping choils, guards, and use. Unlike Nothing Fancy's philosophy of use, I'm not going to get that in depth. I'm just going to, give you an idea how I would use it. Today, we have the Gerber Evo Jr with the Tanto tip and partially serrated. The price. I got this for under $20. Walmart. In fact, actually, I believe they're out of it now. They don't carry it anymore. But for under $20, you really can't go wrong. I actually bought this because I went to get my buddy a knife for his birthday. The guy said he didn't have a knife. I was like, hey, it's his birthday coming up. I gotta get this guy a knife. Something, And I went out and got this, and I was like, I like that. I'm gonna get one for myself. Well, a couple things to not like with this knife. Should I say I grew not to like with this knife was, well, I'll get to that in a second. Dimensions of this knife. The knife itself weighs, on my scale, 2.36 ounces, which is a fairly lightweight knife. However, for the size, it is sort of heavy. Closed length, 4.1 inches. Open length, 7.1 inches. Now this is my measuring, I'm not going off the packages. The blade itself is 2 7/8 of an inch long. So it's a very short blade. You can see the knife fits pretty securely in my hand. It's not huge. Category for this knife, they consider it to be a small sized tactical knife. Well, tactical, I don't know. We'll discuss that. Let's keep going down the list here. The carry method for this knife is a very decent deep carry pocket clip. It's a very tight one. However, with the slick handle here, it's pretty easy to get in and out of the pocket. The blade itself has a titanium nitride coating. They call it surgical steel. Now, I heard it's a variation of the 7CR or something or other steel, but it's basically surgical steel. The grind is considered a flat grind, at least halfway down here, and it's a partially serrated blade. Those good old Gerber serrations that I'm not a real big fan of. Got in a couple other my Gerber knives that Gerber Instant. That one's a little closer together, a little more effective, I'd say. But it's not bad. I mean, serrations are serrations. It's gonna do the job of a serrated blade better than the straight part of the blade will do. So, why not? The lockup on this thing is a liner lock. Now, I'm not real impressed with it, and I'll show you why. If you can see here, the liner is basically the inner steel frame, and it's not the thickest. Now when I deploy this thing with the flipper, I'll show you. It makes that real hard snapping connection. If you look on there, that's more than halfway across the blade. Now, if I was doing some real heavy duty prying or back and forth on a log or something, I can imagine that slipping past the end of that blade and going into there, causing it to fail. Now with the finger guard here, hopefully it wouldn't chop off my finger, so that maybe be a plus. But I wouldn't be real happy with Gerber if that happened. Now you can see the liner lock is part of this frame, which is also hollowed out. So I can't imagine there being a whole lot of extra strength here. I mean, the liner lock, the problem with it is, first of all, you gotta really dig in to get it. If you're using the palm or the pad of your finger to push it over, yeah, you can do it, but after a while, and I've been messing with this knife for a few minutes here, and it's starting to tear my skin up. You really tear your skin up trying to get that off of there. I usually, if I have the knife with me, I'll use my finger like that and push it down. But that's two-handed closing. I mean, who wants to do that? Not me. I sure don't want to do that. Well, anyways, we got a full steel frame. Despite it being rather thin, it is steel. And it's covered with an aluminum grip. I mean, it's a real smooth grip. I think it's painted actually. I nicked it in a few spots, and you can see through the paint. That gouge was actually there when I got it. Kind of an imperfection from the factory. I don't know. Anyways, moving along. The opening of the knife is either the jimping filled flipper here, which is actually pretty convenient, and it actually catches your finger real nice. I like it. I use it. Or the thumb stud. However, being that the knife is so thin, getting a good, purchase, if you will, on the handle while, between these fingers and the palm of your hand, while getting your thumb on that, I mean, you really got to grip it, and it makes you almost feel like you're overdoing your grip just to flick out that thumb stud. So that's why I prefer real relaxed, one finger, one pull. I don't even have to whip it with my hand. Bam, done. That's what sold me on the knife, that flipper. When I did that at the store, and it was nice and solidly locked up like that, because it is solid. It is real solid. That's what sold me on it. I was like, you know what, this is a nice sturdy knife my buddy might like to have in his tackle box. He's not a hunter or nothing. He's not in tactical nothing. He works as a salesman, and he fishes on the weekends. Maybe does a little golfing. Perfect. This little guy, I thought would be perfect. He can carry it in his golf bag, he can carry it in his tackle box. Sharp, it's got a little bit of serrating if he needs it. That's just my opinion. I thought it'd be a nice little knife. And he likes it. Well, so he says. You see, it's got the well, not really a lanyard hole, but the very last hole on here, the blade doesn't touch. So I went ahead and ran a piece of paracord through it, just so when it's in my pocket. Because when I was carrying it, I did actually just throw the whole thing in my pocket. I just pull it out like that, and bam. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the tip down carry. And, that's another thing. I mean, it is only tip down. See, I really don't like that lock. Anyways, going to the end of my review here, we're going to get into the use. What would be the use for this knife? Now, like I already said, got it from my buddy who is a salesman, and he fishes and he golfs, and he doesn't do anything too extreme. It's small, it's compact, it's got a, you know, fairly not shiny clip. I mean, it looks like a pen in your pocket. And I mean, it's not obtrusive. You know, you're not going to feel it there. You know, at 2.36 ounces on my scale, it's really not a whole lot of anything. You know, I'm carrying this guy with me all the time, and I mean, just to give you an example, this is the electrician from Victorinox. I mean, look at the size compared to the electrician. Bottom to top, it's got what? Maybe a half-inch length on it. I mean, let me pull the blade on this guy. The blade is virtually the same length. This is a little knife. So what would you use it for? What would I use it for? You know what I use it for? Absolutely nothing. I have too many knives. I have 10 knives better than this in every, you know, single category of where I'd want to use it and when I'd want to use it. But I like knives, and I thought this was nice, so I picked it up. And you know, maybe if you don't want to spend a bunch of money on a bunch of knives or a bunch of high dollar, high quality knives, you just want something to take out in your backpack, you're going mountain biking or whatever. I mean, I don't know what you guys do. I know what I do. You know, I work, I come home, and if I'm lucky, I get to go hunting on the weekends. Maybe even go to the drag strip and run my car. You know, what do I need a knife for? Well, at work, I use it all the time. Do I want something that's all tactical looking when I'm in a customer's house? Yeah. At this size, yeah, this isn't bad. But like I said, that would be up to you. I mean, 20 bucks, get you a decent looking little knife made by a reputable company, and I mean, it does the trick. By the way, this was really dull when I got it. I tried to put a little bit of an edge on it, but I'm not great with that yet, so I don't know. That's my review of the Evo. And do I recommend it to a novice or somebody who just wants a decent little knife to carry around with them? Yeah, then I would definitely recommend this to you. Something compact, something simple, one blade, and if you need to defend yourself, well, the finger choil here with the flipper gives you just enough push, and this jimping isn't really much. In fact, that's kind of a joke. This is a joke of jimping. I wish I was more clever. I'd come up with a better rhyme. But yeah, that's terrible. You guys could have done better. Maybe put something in the frame here. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll cut in some jimping in the frame. Anyways, that's the knife review. Gerber Evo Jr with the Tanto blade. Alright, have a good one.